Hey everyone, Tim with Collect Jurassic. It's been a while since we've unboxed some Mattel Jurassic World toys here on the channel, and with good reason. There's been so much coming out that I kind of fell behind, so I have a whole load of toys to unload. This is a huge unboxing, all new Mattel Jurassic World Dominion stuff. We have the new Roar Strikers. This would be Wave 3 Roar Strikers. I have unboxed the other waves previously. We have Wave 2 Ferocious Packs up here. We have Wave 3 Massive Action. And we also have a Legacy Collection release. I believe it's called the Sarah Harding and Stegosaurus set. So a lot of figures to unbox and a lot of comparisons I want to make to previous figures or previous species or like, the same family of dinosaurs. So a lot of cool stuff we can look at with some other toys against these new ones too, as we get unboxing them. So let's go ahead and jump right in, because again, there is just a lot of toys to check out. So we'll go ahead head into this Ferocious pack, this wave. Again, this is Wave 2. These are showing up in Target and Walmart right now. So if you're interested in tracking them down, go ahead and look there, or you can always check the checklist on collectjurassic.com, where I have shop links for a lot of these too. But we got Rugops Primis, a baby Nasutoceratops, and Dimetrodon that will open up individually. The packaging for the Ferocious pack is pretty standard at this point for Jurassic World Dominion. It's this open air package, no blister. The dinosaurs are tied to the card with this little bubble here. We got the T-Rex for Jurassic World Dominion along with the logo. Really nice stuff. Advertisements for the scan command there on the back, tons of foreign language legal stuff, and then right here in the corner is the full wave. You'll notice the full wave also includes an Triceratops red, which I didn't grab for this unboxing because it's technically a figure we already have, but worth noting that it does have less paint on the leg. If you're into that, it is kind of a slight variation, but I didn't grab it. I should have grabbed it just so I could show the variation, but it's trying to focus on newness right now because there's just so much new, truly new figures to unbox. So without further ado, let's go ahead and break out Rugops. Let me go ahead and grab my knife real quick, or my clippers rather. We're going to go ahead and cut this here, cut this here, and out pops, hopefully, out pops Rugops Primis. Rugops Primis, what a name, right? Can't say I've never heard of this one before. I got the toy, but here it is. At least Mattel's rendition is like a little feathery carnivore. You can see he's got this really nice, kind of like, I would call it like a stout face. Lots of really nice detail there, though. I'm sure you can check that out in 4K. All the little scaling, and then it goes down to feathers in the head, and the whole body has got sculpted feathers on it. No like frilled tail or anything like we see on some of Mattel's feathered toys, but it's got feather detailing throughout the entire body, the legs, the arms, the chest, and the feet even have like a little bit of like a chicken foot look, especially with this little tiny like back claw there. I don't know if there's like archaeological evidence of that, but there's little black back claws on the feet that you don't see very often in these kind of toys. And then it's got tiny little arms, almost like Carnotaurus. Wonder if there's a relation there. As far as articulation goes, it's got the legs articulate. The arms that I was showing you how they articulate. It's got that ball joint on the neck, which I love on all the toys. Lets you look up and down and side to side and even backwards on some of the toys. And then you got the jaw articulation too, so you can do some nice roars. I love his teeth though. He's got really cool, like very toothy mouth, and he actually looks a little nicer with his mouth open than mouth closed. His lower jaw kind of sinks into his upper jaw, which is probably on purpose, but I kind of like it with its lower jaw. You can see the one I have has really messed up eye paint, but these are hard to find, so I haven't been able to find one with a good eye paint, which is always a bummer when you're looking really hard for a figure and you pick it up and the eye paint is totally messed up. But the rest of these in my batch are good, so I'll take it with just this one. Then of course you got the scan tag right here that pops out in the back and otherwise just pops in and hides back there. Pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, I like the paint coloration. It's pretty simple, darker feathering that kind of gives away the light feathering and then goes back to dark on the head. And then other than that, you got the eyes and the teeth painted, but not a whole lot of paint otherwise. So pretty bare, like a lot of these Ferocious packs are, but it does what it can with the paint it has. And it's definitely an interesting new carnivore that, silhouette and all that we haven't gotten with Mattel Jurassic yet. So it kind of earns its keep in being unique looking, I think. Let's see if I can get this guy to stand up. Some of these figures sometimes don't want to stand up, and looks like Rugops might be the latest to join the not standing club. Let me see if I can get this guy to stand up. Otherwise, he's going to be laying down the whole time in the background. So, yeah, this figure, it doesn't look like I can get him to stand. I don't know if anyone else has that problem with this toy, but mine almost looks like his one foot is shorter than the other foot. That's interesting. So he's not going to be standing up very well for this review. Come on, Rugops. Not only is your eye paint crooked, you can't stand up. All right, let's go ahead and move on to Nasutoceratops. This is a really cool one. It's a baby dinosaur of an adult that we haven't gotten yet. Of course, if you've seen Jurassic World Dominion, which I'm guessing you have, they actually rescue a baby Nasutoceratops in the film. Obviously, what this one's based off of. Packaging's the exact same as the Rugops that we just opened up. So the Rugops that just fell back there, mind you. So there's baby Nasuto popping out of the packaging. Rugops, you got to stand up, buddy. It's going to drive me crazy if you're falling down in the background the whole time we're filming this review. Stand up. All right, here's baby Nasutoceratops. What a fun little figure. I love the oversized head. Actually quite cute. The big eyes. Really simple paint job. Just like a little bit of a touch of like blue back here on the back that ties into what's going on with the adorable large head. Pretty standard articulation, but like he gets to move his little chunky legs and kind of walk, which is fun. So here he is, walking, adorable. Just trotting along, waiting to get rescued, right? And then he's got the head, of course, that moves. It's on a ball joint, so it can move up and down, and that's kind of cool. He can do like a pose. So I want to see how he compares to the adult Nasutoceratops, though, because, of course, that was a figure we got with Battle at Big Rock. For whatever reason, they didn't make one for Dominion. They were supposed to, but they never did. But now we can kind of have a mom and a baby, which is pretty fun, or a dad and a baby, I guess. So you get the adult and the younger version of it, which is, we don't get that a lot with Mattel Jurassic figures. We don't have a lot of baby dinos. This is actually the second one. The first one being baby Brachiosaurus, and we're going to be opening another one here on the video too, another baby. So we're already getting some nice fun dino babies with Brachiosaurus and Nasuto, which is cute. Not something we had from Mattel when the line first started. We're finally getting some like sub-adult versions of toys. So baby Nasuto is the latest one there. Yeah, he definitely looks really nice next to Nasuto, the adult. Not the same color as the body, but definitely the same color as like the legs, which is an interesting touch. Just a touch of that color on top. So that's baby Nasuto. Again, the little rotating head kind of makes this one for me. I like the light color too. So if I ever see another one of these, I'll probably grab more because I like how in the Dominion scene they had like a whole herd of them. So that's the kind of stuff that I like to kind of recreate with my toys. Oh, almost forgot the scan tag back here. There it is. Just pops up right there behind the hips. The skin tags, they hide really well this year. I know some people aren't a big fan of them, but personally, they don't bother me. They blend right in most cases, I should say. I think there's a couple dinosaurs where they look really weird. So that's 2 out of 3 of the Ferocious Packs. Last but not least is Dimetrodon, another Dominion species straight up, not something unique, just to make a cool toy. This will be the 3rd Dimetrodon that we've gotten from the Dominion line, 4th Dominion ever Mattel has done. I love these new Dominion Dimetrodons though, because they just have some really nice articulation, and the sculpt is gorgeous. I mean, you can see the detail here throughout the whole body, and how like it's got like scales that go up into the sails and all that stuff. So actually, they go all the way down to the tail even. So a lot of nice detail here. This particular version, we can see how it stacks up against the others, but definitely doesn't have as much paint. Just got a little bit of a dark color that helps the sail blend in with the body. Otherwise, the whole body is basically just this cast green. That's all there is to it. Just cast green, and then that darker color. Then that darker color comes back again on the snout. So really, they basically, if you don't count the sail, they painted this thing with one color, which is kind of sad. I guess they did a little bit of light color here on the neck to blend with the bottom jaw. But yeah, I mean, all these Ferocious Packs are definitely you know, lacking in the paint department. But let's go ahead and see how he stacks up against the other Dimetrodons that we got so far. He's definitely very close in relation to the extreme damage one. They both have that like vibrant green. Obviously, he's got a totally different sail color than this one, but they are very similar. And then my favorite is the Grant Pack version. I love the coloration of that one. So altogether, they all have different sail patterns, different body patterns, even different amounts of paint, different paint tones. So you get a nice combination of basically everything here. If you collect all of them like me, at least they all sort of bring something different to the table. This one's definitely still my favorite. I just think it feels the most movie accurate and has the most kind of nuanced natural colors. And this new one is probably my least favorite just because it doesn't have a ton of paint on it to begin with. And it's just very simple feeling, but still the solid Dimetrodon underneath with all that awesome articulation with the neck and the jaw that you saw on the other Ferocious Pack figures, and then all the legs and stuff move too. So this is still a solid figure, even if this particular version isn't my favorite. Well, here's another thing I wanted to point out. See how like this one has like this tip painted, this little tip of their sail right here on my finger, orange. See how it's painted right there on this one? So that sail connects to the body. Same with the extreme damage. You got that paint up there. So all that little extra detail makes all the difference, right? Well, in this one, they didn't even paint it. It's just green like the rest of the body. So these Ferocious Pack figures, I can't help but be frustrated because they just went so cheap on them compared to even the same figure released in a different pack. These Ferocious Pack versions are just altogether inferior. I mentioned the Triceratops red I didn't buy, missing leg paint entirely. So kind of silly. I wish they would just put a little bit extra money into to kind of finish these figures with paint, right? Oh yeah, and one last thing, the DNA tag hidden geniusly in the sail right there. There you can see it. It just pops back in. So I do like that on the Dimetrodons, how they made the DNA tag integrated with the sail. It's kind of fun. So let's go ahead and keep going. We still got a lot of toys to cover. That was literally just a few. We'll go ahead and move on to this big guy over here, Siamosaurus. A massive action figure. That's the name of the assortment. Of course, packaging's got that nice Dominion look to it. Got the Rex and all that. I love the power lines and the forest in the background. And then on the back, we can see some of the action features. You can also see the Amargasaurus that was available in the wave before this. Technically, it's the wave 2. So this is the final massive action figure for Dominion for the year. And it's a pretty cool one. I mean, it's a huge toy. We'll definitely do a comparison next to these smaller figures and a few others for sure. So we'll go ahead and snip them out. I think is that all he's got? Yeah, that's all he's got. So go ahead and put the box aside here. And here is Siamosaurus. And what a big figure. I mean, this thing is, that's pretty big. That's almost a foot long. Really cool, like base plastic they did on this one. Filled with details. Very like crocodilian. All the scaling on it. See the bottom, the scaling on the bottom. But then like the individual scales all through the body. Just a really uniquely designed sculpt. I love how the tail has like all of these like big, huge, chunky fins on it even. Of course, you have the fin on top. I don't know a lot about Siamosaurus, but I'm assuming it's somewhat related to Spinosaurus because it does have that sail. And then the face is just like very like alligator-ish, right? I mean, that thing just looks like a big old gator to me, which is kind of fun. So that's a really cool sculpt. And then paint-wise, I was kind of touching on the base plastic. It's got a really cool coloration to it. But then you also have this, like, I call it plastic marbling, where they've mixed in a lighter colored plastic. And it kind of gives this thing some additional texture. You can see it when I look back. You can see all the little spots here. So that's a really nice effect they do. I know some people don't love it. And I've certainly held figures where it's been really messed up. Like, there'll be, like, a big giant white mark on the leg. But if you are able to kind of choose through a few, you can usually get a pretty evenly applied application of it, which is I think what I got on this guy right here. So really cool figure, Siamosaurus. I love it. Really, really nice. I like the little like looks it can give too. Let's talk about the action features. This is massive action. So the tail offers you all kinds of like movability on the very like primal attack, where it can kind of give you like full 360-degree motion almost. But really it's for going up and down more than anything. Up and down, up and down. Then it's got the button on the tail too, which lets you close the jaws there. Really tight, snappy action too. It's not wonky at all. It works really well. And you can also do that in tandem, so you can look around and bite as well. So definitely supposed to be quadrupedal. I mean, it's definitely got bigger legs and back, but I noticed that when I try to make it kind of like a bipedal, it certainly doesn't have the balance to do that. But the articulation on the legs lets you try at least, and the front legs have that outward rotation hinge, and the back ones even have a little bit of outward rotation, and they move out really well. The feet also move here too, if that helps you pose them. What I'm trying to do is see if I can get him to like not drag his lower jaw on the ground. I feel like he's like in a constant state of eating versus sort of like more upright, you know? But that might just be how this figure is, just because the action feature is meant to bring the head up. So could just be the luck of the draw with Siamosaurus, unfortunately. But I really love the crocodile, like the crocodile alligator sort of look with all the scales. It's really, really cool. And I'm sure, you know, they use a lot of real world inspiration on this, and the splash of red on the head is a really nice touch too. I did want to do a couple comparisons with some related dinosaurs. Of course, the most obvious one that I can think of is the world famous Spinosaurus. I mean, these guys both have like a very similar jaw structure. So definitely some relation there. I'm sure there's some like scientific relation too. I'm just not up with it. I'm not privy to it. We also have Suchomimus, which is really nice. Kind of another very like aquatic feeling. See if I can get him to stand up. It's a hard day for standing toys up on my table. So you can see how all of these have like very like similar, at least skull shapes, right? We also have Irritator here. So this is just like the latest in a long line of sort of like another Spinosaurids. I don't know if you call this one a Spinosaurid, but we also have Baryonyx too. So just wanted to kind of show off all of these sort of like similarly designed dinosaurs. So Baryonyx. And we also are going to have Ichthyovenator to open up too, that we can do this lineup again. But this is all these you know, very, very similarly designed snouts. You know, and when I say designed, I don't mean Mattel. I mean even just in the natural world, how these dinosaurs all look similar or have similar skull shapes. So cool stuff. Siamosaurus, really fun. I loved Amargasaurus last round, but this is a pretty solid toy too. So Mattel did a good job on Siamosaurus. I love it. All right, so moving on, let's go ahead and bust open this Legacy Collection set, just because it's taking up a lot of room, and it's a big one. And we have a human figure in it too, which is always exciting. Hold on, let me just set up these toys back here so they're out of the way and not falling over as we look at this guy and do some comparisons here. So this is the Dr. Sarah Harding and Stegosaurus pack. It's part of the Legacy Collection. So here in the US, it's exclusive to Target. Legacy Collection's great though, because they cover toys from, you know, all the different movies, and this movie being Jurassic Park Lost World is the one being covered. And then on the back you have what's in the set, but of course I'm going to get it out, so we don't need to spend too much time back here. But let me talk about how awesome this box is. I mean, you can tell it's supposed to be like a truck. You can even see through it to the other side. There's like jungles on the other side. It's just a really awesome idea for packaging. And the windows inside, you can see like the hint of the Stegosaurus. It's sort of supposed to be like the command center in Lost World, I assume. But I love the big tires and all that stuff. Very much like the mini set. If you've seen my unboxing, the little mini multi-packs, they do the same idea where they pack the toys in like sort of like a die-cut truck box. But it's kind of fun to see it applied to this bigger figure. You can even see it has windows on top. The front, let me see if I can fit the front here in the camera, has like windshield wipers and spotlights, and that's just so fun. It's like a proper truck through and through. Really nice packaging. I feel bad because I'm gonna have to open it to get the toys out, but it's a fun take on it. But man, I'm excited about this one because it's not every day that we get Lost World toys. We truly haven't gotten too many from Mattel, so this one's exciting, and we get an all new character that we haven't previously gotten from Mattel for the line. So popping this one open very carefully, and we'll pop the figures out and take a look at them one by one. We got this Baby Stegosaurus, we got Mama Stegosaurus, and then we also have Dr. Sarah Harding, if she'll come out of here. And then we'll take a closer look at those. I did want to mention that in the, sorry to get the box back out, it looks like the box has a really fun insert in it that's basically like the computer display and the trailer. I love it, with like the rain on the windows and like the phone, the radio, the old computers. That's a really fun detail that I hope a lot of people are able to appreciate, and they don't just throw it out without looking at it. But let's go ahead and take a look at this set. Obviously based on the Lost World, the scene where Sarah's, photographing the baby Stegosaurus. But it does come with an adult Stegosaurus too, because there's adults in that scene. But let's talk about Sarah Harding first. The all-new figure from Mattel, one we haven't gotten so far. A new character, Sarah Harding, played by, why am I blanking on the actress's name right now? But Sarah Harding, someone can say in the comments who plays Julianne Moore. Gosh, I can't believe I almost forgot that. Whew, I swear I'm a good Jurassic fan. But this is a all-new figure, like I said. She comes with an accessory, which is this camera, which I'm going to try to take off. It's kind of like stuck in her ponytail. So it comes with like this new little camera attachment. Looks like a pretty nice cannon, honestly. They did a good job with the sculpt. Doesn't that look like a cannon? I think it does. And then you got Sarah herself. Pretty fair likeness, too. I mean, look at that. That looks like Julianne Moore for sure. They did a great job. She's got a necklace on. She's got a little like tank top, belt buckle. She's got all the standard action figure articulation. Not that you see from Hammond Collection, but definitely Legacy Collection. So you have shoulders, elbows. You have hip, so she can rotate at the hips, rotate and move her legs out, and move her legs at the knee too. And then of course the head is on like sort of a ball joint too, so she can look to side, and she can sort of look up and down. Not really, but pretty fantastic detail on such a small 3 3/4 figure. Again, really nice likeness. And that's exciting. This is our second Lost World figure ever. Our first one we got earlier this year, which was Roland Tembo. They definitely have a very similar color aesthetic, but nice to see in 2022 we got two much demand characters, Roland Tembo and Sarah Harding from Lost World. So that's super fun. Thanks for your appearance, Roland Tembo. Then as far as just female characters in general, we now have Ellie, obviously, and Claire, but we also have Sarah Harding joining the fray. So now in terms of female Jurassic, like main characters, right? We're just missing Amanda Kirby from Jurassic Park 3. So maybe she's on the way. We'll see. But at least we have these three powerhouses, female heroine powerhouses now, with Ellie and Claire finally getting their Lost World counterpart with Sarah Harding. So pretty cool figure. We'll go ahead and give her camera back. I don't think she can hold her camera. Camera handle looks way too big. So it's definitely supposed to just kind of hang around her neck, which is cool. It looks good there. I'm not complaining. So we'll put Sarah aside and let's take a look at the dinosaurs that she's actually photographing. All new figure, the Baby Stegosaurus. This thing is excellent. I love the size of it. It's perfect next to her even. It's kind of like an attack pack size, but they really got the movie likeness down with the cute little innocent eyes. They did it by adding like a literal white dot in the eye that makes them look that much shinier and cuter. But the paint on this thing is really cool. There's lots of like blending, darker colors on the fins. Even on the body, there's some blending of like the underbelly to the rest of it. So they did a good job with the cast plastic in the first place, and then finding a way to get like the paint blended on there. Even the face has some really nice paint blending around the eye and the beak. And the articulation is oh, look, it's got little painted tail nubs too. How adorable is that? It's got articulation on the legs, and then it's got that ball joint on the head, so you can look around and look all curious and eat plants. What an adorable figure, though. I wish I'd opened this sooner. I would have brought this into the woods with me last week to take photos of it, because it's perfect. It's so cute, so small. And again, it's another baby dinosaur. I mean, we already talked about Nasutoceratops, right? That we just opened. So now we already have another baby. I already talked about the Brachiosaurus. So Mattel is quickly filling out our baby dino ranks. I love to see it. So Stego is the newest member of the Baby Dino Club from Mattel, and probably one of the best baby figures they've done so far. At least it's based on the movie, so it looks fantastic. Let's go ahead and look at the adult Stego real quick. Not a new figure, but a repaint, so already not quite as exciting, but the paint coloration on this is really, really in-depth. I know a few people have kind of ripped it apart for not being accurate to the movie, which is not surprising, but it is a really cool paint coloration. Again, it's got very similar blending with the Baby Stegosaurus that goes from like the lighter underbelly to the darker plate. It's also got sort of like a lighter patch here too. The spikes are painted. Of course, it's got the eyes and the beak painted, and I do think it has the same articulation as the figures that have come before it, with the the back legs and the front legs. The front legs actually rotate out. Do the back legs? Yeah, the back legs rotate too. So really nice articulation on the legs, and then the head can move around too, so it can look all around and up and down. And they painted those plates on the head, which I appreciate too. I know some versions of this figure don't have that painted. So, and then I think it's got the action feature of the standard Stegosaurus, which is just a swinging tail when you press this plate down. It's actually a really slick action feature because it's got these double joints that let it swing back and forth. So pretty cool. Yeah, I'm not going to compare it to another Stegosaurus. There's like 4 of these already, but believe that it's the same figure. No different changes. Just a really cool paint coloration. If not accurate, it looks great. So that is the Lost World set. We'll go ahead and stick Stego back over here. See if we can make room for the toys we're unboxing. It's going to get busy on this table. So next up, we have the full wave of Roar Strikers. This is the electronic feature set from Mattel for Jurassic World Dominion. This is the final wave. We have Dimetrodon, Triceratops, Ichthyovenator, hope I'm saying that right, and then Rajasaurus. Some really cool colorations on Rajasaurus that I can't wait to take a look at. But let's go ahead and start with Dimetrodon here. Another figure that there's been so many versions of, similar to Stegosaurus. Oh, let me talk about packaging real quick. Got the open packaging for a lot of these. The tail is actually disassembled in the box, and when you open them, you just put the tail on. But pretty standard little open window box with the graphic in front. On the back, it's going to show you how you activate the figure's action feature and electronic roar, how you get to the scan code, all that good stuff. And then, of course, the other ones in the wave, which are all on here, on the table on here. So don't need to look at that too carefully. Let me see. This guy is going to be a little bit harder to clip out, but I have faith. Yeah, okay. There's one. Looks like he's got a couple different plastic ties. There's 2. We can get this other one. He's got one around his body, and it's always hard to do these without cutting the toy itself, so bear with me while I pop this out. Here we go. I got a good angle. There. All right. So now Dimetrodon can come out. No tail attaching here. This thing comes assembled together in the box. Oh, this is interesting. Okay. So this version of the figure, this is the first one they've done that doesn't have the wing action tied to like a button. The wings are truly posable. They have this ball joint here. So it's kind of like the 12-inch figures. You can actually pose this one however you want. Every other figure has had that action feature tied to like a button where they flap, but this is the first one that you can actually pose. So that's pretty notable. The other thing I really like about this figure is the pop of blue on the head. I'm a sucker for pops of color on dinosaurs, and this one's awesome. So the blue looks really, really slick. And then, of course, you got this cool pattern on the wings, which I think adds a little bit of oomph to the whole package too. Otherwise, it's pretty bare bones in color. I mean, look how there's basically no paint on the bottom, no paint on the body from the neck down. But that pop of blue kind of carries it for me. Looks like the whole action feature is going to be tied up with this button on top. So he snaps. He makes flapping noises, but he doesn't actually flap his wings. The articulation on the head is all tied to that action feature, so you can't like rotate the head or anything. But that's okay. I like the fact that you can actually rotate the wings too. Scan code. Funny little trap door back there for the scan code. Big old scan code, but yeah, it's under the door, which I always think is kind of funny. Oh, cool. The feet are articulated too. Well, now I feel like I have to do a comparison because I don't remember the other ones having articulated feet like this, like on ball joints. So that's kind of a plus up too, right? I mean, this thing's surprising me in some of its added articulation. I'm gonna go ahead and grab. We got another one down here. This is actually the very first version of this sculpt for Dino Rivals. I love the yellow on this one. So you can see it had the button where you press and the wings flapped. And it also had like a closing jaw. But look, its legs are just sculpted. Again, I think every other one had sculpted legs like this. No articulation, just literally part of the body. And then the wings that flapped, right? But this new one has the articulated legs, which is fun, and the articulated wings that aren't tied to an action feature. So that's novel. That's definitely worth talking about, right? I do realize that when I was looking at the scan code for this, I totally forgot to show the scan codes for these guys. So here's the big Stegosaurus scan code. Really funny. The whole fin comes up. And there's like almost like a hole there. That's interesting. So there's the scan code for Mama Stego. And Baby Stegos, I think, kind of works the same way. Yep, there's Baby Stegos hidden in the fins. That looks painful, but there it is, hidden right there. So pretty fun. The way they find ways to hide these. Not a big fan of this giant trapdoor back here, but what are you gonna do? There it is. All right, so moving on. Go ahead and hit up another. The often repainted figure from Mattel, the Triceratops. This one's been hit a lot of times. Another one I don't want to do comparisons with over and over again because you all know what the Mattel Triceratops looks like at this point. But yeah, same box as the Pteranodon. It's going to have that tail that we're going to have to attach, and we're also going to have to figure out how to open this thing on camera without. Sorry. I know there's some of my audience members who do not love how I rip apart boxes sometimes. I hear you. I'm sorry. There's just no other way to do it when I'm on camera and I'm trying to do this for you guys in a hurry. Sometimes you just have to get in there and break some stuff. It's just the way it goes. So let's see if I can get this last tie. Almost. Yeah. Okay. Oh, and he's got the locks on his feet. Wow. So see, sometimes they really go to town securing these figures. Guess a lot of people are stealing Triceratopses. I don't know. So his tail just pops on there. There we go. So the newest electronic mid-sized Triceratops from Mattel. I've gotten so many of these things, but similar to the Pteranodon, I love this one. I love the pop of red on the head and how the head is just completely different color than the rest of them. He's got that really slick action where you literally just push down. I love how they've done that for these new Roar Strikers. They're just really easy to activate with the push down. But yeah, I mean, he's got a really, really nicely detailed head with the painted horns and the eye you can see there. Looks really, really nice. I mean, for the whatever 7th or 8th Triceratops, this is still a solid one. I love this coloration. You know, the last one we got for Dominion was this guy with like sort of like the bone colored horns and the darker color. He was a nice one too. I always like the natural colors, but I like the way they blended the red with this one a little bit better. He works the same exact way. So you can do. It's funny how different their horn colors are, though, isn't it? But I really dig this this red coloration here. That's fun. I love the red head. So yeah, articulation wise, the head's all tied in with the action feature, but the legs do still all move, even though they have that action feature tied to them. You can still move them all and then push them around to make it go. So. Yeah, I mean, again, for like the 50th repaint of this thing, I actually really do like the choices they made with it. So we'll go ahead and hit up Rajasaurus, a figure that actually is new for Dominion, but also this is not the first version of it. A couple repaints of this one exist yet, but this is definitely my favorite, and we'll get it out and check it out and see why. So Rajasaurus box, pretty standard. Got Raha on the back showing you how it works. But let's go ahead and pop this sucker open and put it together. Get the tail out of there. Does this one have feet locking? It does look like it has feet locking. So we'll go ahead and do that too. I know I gotta wreck this box. I'm sorry. Sorry to everybody that hates that. It's gotta happen. There's another one, and then we just have one leg to cut out, I think, and then we're free, literally. There, okay. So mangled that box trying to get Raha out. This is such a cool paint job, though. I love this thing. All right, tails on. There we go. I love this contrast. We don't see a lot of this extreme contrast with Mattel. It's almost black and white. I wouldn't call it black. It's sort of like a darker bluish gray, and the white is sort of a lighter gray. But the point remains, we have really nice contrast. I love this cool pattern they did. Almost feels like an iguanodon. Or iguana, sorry, with this like striation and stripe. It looks really, really cool. And then they have like a subtler color shift on these spikes up here. Then of course the head's got the eye painted and the teeth painted. Really nice detailed sculpt. This is probably my favorite. This is my favorite version of it because the dark paint just brings out the detail on Mattel figures all the time. The light paint, it kind of gets lost, but the dark paint, you can really see all the different detail here. And I love the white. Or at least near whiteness of how the arms are cast in near white, the bottom jaws cast in near white. Then you have the paint that brings it all together. Yeah, this one's got the basic roar action where you push down and he bite, roars and all that stuff. Definitely want to show you what this guy looks like against the other versions if I can reach them. Here's the first Rajasaurus that came out for Dominion, so you can already see just how of a kind of radical difference in paint coloration there is. I think it's funny they painted the horn on this one, but not on this one. We also have the helicopter set, which probably a lot of people don't know about, but I did a review for that one too. It's got a gnarly, kind of almost like blurry airbrushed pattern on it, if you can see. And I like this one too. I like them all, but this dark one is definitely my favorite. But it's cool that we already have 3, right? I mean, that's a lot of dinosaurs. It's a lot of the same dinosaur for just coming out in 2022 here, but I gotta love this. Gotta shout out this dark one. It's just I just like the color a lot better here. So pretty slick. I should go over the scan code for this one because I know I already forgot it on Trike. Pops out of the back there and pops back in. He's got really nice. Can do the running pose and all that. Can move his jaw, his arms, of course, the jaw and mouth are all tied to that action feature. But it's a really cool figure. I love the paint job. Real quick before we move on to the final toy, we do want to look at the scan code for Triceratops. It's got to be back here. Oh, back here on the tail. So there it is. Just pops back in and otherwise is pretty much invisible. So we got Triceratops, and last but not least, Ichthyovenator. Hope I'm saying that right. Probably am not. Another sort of wild new, almost aquatic, crocodile-looking kind of dinosaur. Pretty cool. Another one I have not heard of since Mattel made the toy. There it is in the back there. Let's go ahead and start fighting to get this one out because I'm sure it is going to be as hard as Rajasaurus was. Ooh, the tail looks fun. Now this is cool. Yeah, I like the tail already. So this one's going to have some really unique features already, I can tell. Pop Does this one have, yep, it's got the locks on the feet just like the other figures. I had no idea they added this much security to these. I don't remember. You think out of all the toys I've opened up this year, I'd remember this, but I really don't. There's one. Can I get the other one? Yes, I can. It should just leave a leg to cut out back here. They have these in with those feet pegs and then one plastic tie. They're all like that. He's kind of streamlined, kind of small. There's got some rubbing on there that I'm gonna push out. Okay, there we go. Wow, what a cool silhouette. I mean, do you see this tail? That's the first thing that jumps off to me is this big giant tadpole tail with the webbing in between the spines, and even back here, like the webbing's kind of like diminished, which is kind of a fun feature set. I think I have it on right. Oop, I just popped it off. Dang, it just pops off. Do I not have this in right, or is it? Yeah, I got it in right. There, okay. So there's the tail, and then it's got this big notch here too, in the sail too, which is fun. Big giant clawed hands too. Look at that, big clawed hands. And it's got the attack. Kind of a cool. I like the sound effects there. Those are interesting. But it's even got webbed hands too. So definitely, you know, it's supposed to be an aquatic dino. You can see the face there looking super mean. I love how the tooth connects into the top jaw too. That's a fun effect. And then you got the mean eye there. Oop, looks like I got a little paint splash, Mattel. You can catch this kind of stuff at the factory before it goes to the store. That's a bummer. Don't love paint splash, but there it is. But yeah, this guy's cool. He's got a very bare bones paint, right? I mean, basically just this green color and then the dark color, and then the bottom jaw is cast in different plastics. So bare bones paint again. I'd love to see a little bit more paint on this guy because he's a very interesting looking dinosaur. Again, I love the way that tooth connects in that jaw. He's just got a really cool face with that eye. So very crocodilian again. Really reminds me of Irritator, which I still have right off screen. I can grab. Definitely seem like closely related, right? These two, so that's kind of fun. And even Baryonyx. I mean, definitely got some Baryonyx vibes there too. So all these mid-range versions. I won't bring Siamosaurus and Spinosaurus and all that back in, but there's some nice sort of parallels between these dinosaur designs too, which I want to note on. So pretty cool. Ichthyovenator, brand new species from Mattel. This is its debut. I'm guessing there'll be probably another version later on, likely with you know, repaint like they do often with their figures. So Ichthyovenator with the articulated arms and legs like the other ones too. All that. I wish you could close the mouth shut because it looks really cool shut. But that's all tied to the action features. So toy photographers will have to get creative with gummy stuff to get his mouth to close. But that's Ichthyovenator. And that's all the Roar Strikers. That's Wave 3 Roar Strikers with the Triceratops and Rajasaurus and Dimetrodon. And honestly, that's every toy I set out to unbox today. And my, did we have a lot to unbox. Of course, these Roar Strikers, there's 4 of those. But we also had the 3... Ferocious Packs, Also had Siamosaurus out here. And then we had Legacy Collection, Stegosaurus scene from Lost World with the adult Stegosaurus and the baby Stegosaurus. So lots and lots of toys unboxed today. Lots of toys for me to try to fit into my cramped display back there, but awesome stuff. Overall, some really cool stuff from Mattel. Would still like a little bit more paint on a few of these figures, a little bit more quality control on a few of these figures. You saw the paint splash on my poor Ichthyovenator. But overall, pretty impressed with these, especially that Legacy Collection set. That's super cool. And this new Rajasaurus repaint. Just awesome figures that I'm happy to own. So I think that's all I got. Again, I'm Tim with Collect Jurassic. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next unboxing.